Hey, what's going on, good people? Today's little discussion will be focused around my particular political leanings. There's a particular reason why I named the show the Everyday Progressive Show. It's to stand out among other shows that are political. There's not too many that are named or with the name progressive in it. That means growing. It's definitely increasing. But this show used to be named the Everyday Liberal Show, but I don't know, it just didn't, I guess, stand out too much. So I figured progressive is newer and more talked about, or at least seemed to stand out more. But even so, I'm not just your lovable progressive or lamentable progressive, but um, I'm also like a mix. I'm not just one pure way of thinking, you know what I mean? I could be best described as the Kyle Kalinske sort of political slant. You know, Kyle Kalinske from this YouTube show, Secular Talk. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm sure most of you have already. Probably even follow his, or I've been subscribed to his channel already, but if you haven't seen it, check it out. He's more self described as a progressive libertarian or libertarian progressive because when it comes to social issues, he is like, getting out of the wars or legalizing or decriminalizing drugs. You marry whoever you want, a woman's right to choose with what goes on inside her own body. Him and I are very, libertarian on that. You should have the sort of freedoms to exercise over yourself and such. But when it comes to economics and civil rights, definitely much more progressive. Look to make sure that people who are maligned or whatever have some sort of legal protection. They get maligned just for being who they are. And so I want to make sure, and he wants to make sure, and many, many others want to make sure that there's protections, legal protections in place. It's where they have recognized protection against just being fucking railroaded just for being who the fuck they are. Of course, this means I'm also very much pro free speech. I think there should be an internet bill of rights to make sure that people don't get deplatformed from any major platform like YouTube, Twitter, Twitch without going through a process to make sure they don't get railroaded just for purely political reasons. Now, if they advocate for violence or they go about them lines, right? Advocating for damaging property and shit like that. That's automatically in my book. It's a party foul. That's no good. They should be. They should definitely get in trouble for doing that or promoting that. We here at Progressive Show don't fucking advocate for such activities. And I will denounce people on the left for doing that shit too. And there have been people that have said some shit like, "Oh, you're just tone policing us now." It's not tone policing. You're threatening people's fucking safety and lives. Do you want that to happen to you? Oh, well, no. So why should you be doing it to someone else? Oh, well, because I'm a left winger. Well, you're making us left wingers look bad when you do that shit. You're giving the right wing the excuse to do what they do best, and that's to cry victim after, this shit happens. And they're kind of right. I hate to say it. And you're making me say that shit. This historical precedence for this shit. I'll put that link in the description below of how to properly combat neo-Nazis and shit like that. Those fucking bastards. But anywho, so there's a lot of little facets to my core ideology. My core ideology is best described as freedom with reciprocity. It's probably the best way I can describe it in an all-encompassing manner. I try to strive for maximum possible, not absolute maximum, but maximum possible personal freedoms, while at the same time we recognize whenever we take advantage of the economic side of things that there has to be a balance in place because you're choosing to take advantage of it. So there has to be some sort of balance to that. It can't just be this far right wing and capper, hardcore ultra libertarian right wing mindset of I want to make all this money and tell everyone to fuck off. No taxes. I don't want to pay no taxes. No nothing. I mean that's severely imbalanced. I'm gonna do another video too pretty soon on the idea of this taxation is theft. I mean I already did one, but the how it goes is I'm gonna do another video on another little concept I recently came across on taxes and the taxes theft and that sort of thing. So sort of another counterpoint to that, which is to me quite quite damaging to their narrative because they love their money. They love their money being worth something. So, but anywho, it's just. I mean, also my core philosophy is I want to go with what has been shown, what's been shown to work best, and we can look to many other countries for many examples of what needs to be improved in this country. Like for example, healthcare. Most other major modern countries they have some form of a universal healthcare system. Now, many countries do it differently, but we can look to those because the private healthcare system in the United States is an absolute fucking disaster. It costs way too fucking much for shit outcomes. And you got people here in America who just make excuses for that shit. Well, I don't mind getting fucked by my insurance company. I want the freedom to get fucked. You don't. You're just trying to say that shit just so you try to sound like you have some sort of principled, some sort of principled view on the matter. It's fucking I want the freedom to get fucked, man. Like, that's just you, buddy. You and a very few others. That does not even justify a more expensive, less effective system with our private healthcare system. But even so, I mean, it's getting to the point to where some of these right wingers have gotten so off the fucking rails. They've gone so far to the fucking ultra uber right that people like me presenting an idea like, hey, universal healthcare, right? The way we're doing it is actually more fiscally reasonable and better outcomes, which is technically more fiscally conservative compared to what they want to keep going on. How fucked is that? They've gone so far to the right that I'm proposing, and many others are proposing an idea that's more fiscally conservative and fiscally reasonably to be done, or at least directionally anyway. Because you got directionalism and destinationism, but it just gets so fucking screwy, and the far right wing in this country are just so out of balance like that. Just because they want to just maintain their worldview and have it imposed on everyone else, because that's what they want, without any consideration to be given to other people who might have a different opinion. Me, I'll listen to you. I mean, if you put a comment down in the section below, even if you're trolling me, I might troll you too. I mean, well, fuck it. I mean, trolling never bothers me. It's just that, I mean, do you really think some random jagoff is going to say some shit that's going to, hurt my feelings or whatever? No. I use it to my advantage. So, I mean, you got some people who try to troll, but they find out real quick that, it doesn't really go their way. But everyone else, hey, if you got a genuine comment or whatever, we can have a little discussion. Definitely talk it out. I do what I can to keep the comment section open, available to everyone, even the spammers. Now, if they egregiously spam, I might delete their shit, but especially if it's to a seemingly a link that takes you to some dangerous shit for your computer, I'll probably delete it. But other than that, if have at it, I'm not just gonna ban you or block you just for you being a conservative. I've actually had many decent conversations, productive conversations with people who are just conservative, a bit of right of center, or even a good deal to the right. I've had many productive conversations with them, and that's what I look for too. So I mean, it's what I want to do. It's just to help expand upon my political, stance. It's to help refine it and to get a better understanding every day of what I'm trying to convey to you, the audience. But man, this video has gone on long enough, so I think you've got my point by now. I try not to make videos that are too long or longer than they need be, but anywho, If you like the content and you want to see more of it, help support the show by liking it or disliking it. Leave a comment below. And also, I do regular streams on Twitch. I stream pretty regularly over there in the Just Chatting section. The political section, or political the political streamers in Twitch is actually growing. So there's a lot of political channels over there on Twitch that don't just stream games. They talk about politics and economics and shit like that. So if you're really into that, go to twitch.tv and just go to the search bar or whatever, type in politics, and there's a whole bunch of channels. Usually you'll see a lot more around the evening, around say 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock, something like that. You see that's when they'll mostly be on. But it's a whole bunch of stuff. So if you haven't seen it, go over there and check it out. It's not just, Twitch is not just for Fortnite. I said Fortnite. It's not just for Fortnite or Call of Duty or whatever. It's actually a pretty versatile platform, and I'm also going to make another video too down the road about the idea of, hey, if you want to start doing political content on the internet, that's probably a pretty good place to start, because there's a lot of exposure you can get over there to get your channel running, just off to a running start. Boom. But anywho, I want to thank everyone for watching, and y'all take it easy.